Hey, how's everybody doing out there? I pray all is well. I pray all is well. It's your boy, the Prophet B. Kush. Here we are again. Red flags. Come on, somebody. Red flags. That's right. We're here, up and running. Had a little 2-second interview where it wouldn't connect like it ought to, but God is good. You know, the devil's a liar. Come on, somebody. Pray all is well out there. You know, if you want to call in and ask a question, totally anonymous on another phone. You do it at 718-622-2674. 718-622-2674. Uh, hey, I hope all is well out there. I know people are doing their best. Life is lifing. Come on, somebody. And I would like to say that I hope that these shows have been helpful. I would like to say that I hope that they are. But the truth is, I've gotten responses where people, are taking the information and, doing reconsideration to the way they view things, the way they view themselves in situations, which is what's important. We're here to provide sound advice, and in doing so, you hope that you can speak with people in a terminology in a way that allows them to understand that they're not by themselves and what they're seeing or what they're experiencing is not crazy. All right, somebody? Sometimes we can be in situations where you will feel like it's crazy. You will feel like I'm the only one going through this, or this could not be happening to me. And I said to somebody a while ago, I said, well, what makes you different? What makes you different than all the people out in the world that are going through stuff and have been through stuff and will go through stuff in the near future or sometimes in their lives? What makes any of us want to feel like, why is this happening to me? Who are you, if I can be so polite and direct? Who are you that you should live this life and not go through something? You feel that your life is so greatly put together. You did all the things that you considered needed to be done so that you can be where you are or be who you are. That's beautiful. But at the same time, it doesn't take you away from being human, that things happen to people and it happens to everybody. Come on, somebody. That's the reality. And so, in that, we are consistently throwing out the narrative that it's not just red flags for what you saw someone else do, it's the red flags within yourself that you saw, didn't see, allowed, didn't allow. You understand what I'm saying? And so I want people to keep that in mind. This is something to help us all look at each other, look at ourselves better with a different narrative. I have a seminar called We're Here to Push the Reset Button on Love. And it's about self, it's about ideology and mindset and heart and emotions and view, the way that we process. Because when we speak about pushing the reset button on love, we're talking about ourselves. Come on, somebody. We're talking about ourselves to a great degree to allow us to see the many different things and variations of who we are in the world that we're living in. Come on, somebody. And so I would like to say thank you for allowing me to try to help us. Come on, somebody. Not just him, them, she, me, help us see a little better, think a little better about what we ought to be thinking about, that we're not thinking about, the way we should be thinking about something, the way we shouldn't be thinking about something. It's realistic. So today's show, and I probably won't be before you long, because when I do shows like this, where I'm noticing I have a good bit of information enough that someone will see it and get in mindset that is better than what they had before they listened to it. I kind of put the cap on it. I don't want to take nobody no further than what they have to be and over talk you just to be talking. I'm not into that. Everybody who knows me know that. I'm not your friend like that. Let's deal with it. Let's do it. And let's get it going because life is short. Hello, somebody. So, in that vein, oh, excuse me. Thank you. I know all y'all said God bless you. Thank you very much. um, tonight's show is about mindset. Come on, somebody. Mindset. Tonight's show is truly about mindset. Let's think about that for a minute. Mindset, right? Because the mindset of us as a people can be altered, can be dwarfed, can be short, can be strong, can be soft. Let's talk about mindset if we can for a moment. How we consider the things that we go through. Excuse me. Reality check. How we consider the things that we go through. Yeah. How we consider them because it's based on your mindset. It's based on how you can process a situation, how you receive the situation within yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and then what you consider to be a good space or frame of mind to deal with it. Think about it. Because the mindset of us all as people change through variations, systems. Come on, somebody. Situations. Um, the more you experience in life, the sharper or more variations of ideology you can have in your brain to disseminate things because you have more experiences to do so. So, when we consider mindset for people going through things relationship wise and marital wise, you have to be realistic that because you met this person, because you fell in love with this person, or because you just love this person, doesn't change who they are as individuals that have an already made up and maintained mindset about how they view life, about how they think for themselves as individuals first, how they think about others, what their limits are. Come on, somebody. What and who help orchestrate that and how they feel about that. Because I'm going to say that with clarity that the individual that could have helped someone obtain a particular mindset could have been an individual that wasn't an angel, that had devilish ways. Come on, somebody. And so you're dealing with a person who has a mindset, or you could be dealing with someone who has a mindset that was framed by someone who did evil things, or who just did things that were mean, or who did things that was you shouldn't do that to a person type of people. We all know those type of people. Come on. So I want us to keep that in mind, because then you have people who have mindsets that it was formed by people or helped formed by people who had good intent, who had, you know, as far as we can understand, angelic or heavenly ways. They were always peace people. They were always optimistic people. And so when you're dealing with a person who has a mindset of their own that you know not of, hello, somebody. Oh, I thought I knew that person. Didn't take time to figure out how they think. Come on, somebody. You didn't take time to figure out. And don't get me wrong, it's the situations that you're going to go through that's going to allow you to see how they think. Come on, somebody. And so, yeah, it's making me smile when I think about this. I think about it in the essence that, yeah, reality check. You don't know the individual because you didn't get a chance. I'm going to say, I'm not going to say that you didn't look, you didn't study. Because if you didn't look and you didn't study, I didn't look and I didn't study. Hello, somebody. I ain't no better than you. You ain't no better than me. But what I will say is that you didn't get a chance to see the different variables that would allow you to see how a person thinks. We like to call it the default mechanism, right? So at the end of the day, if nothing else does what it does or do what it do, you'll be left with it, the system, the thing, the person working on their default instances, inferences, right? Inferences. And so a person who is naturally, oh, forget that, I'm gonna do me, bump them, that's their default. When it all goes wrong, I got me, I'm good. And then you have the individuals who their default mechanism is, oh, we can't leave them people like that. Nah, that's not right. Let's see what we can do. So there's always the in between of people, right? But for the most part, there's a line, and they're either very into helping other people or very into helping themselves. And that's a reality check. So when we think about mindsets of people, individuals, and what matters to an individual, when you're in a situation with a relationship or with a marriage, you're left to deal with the mindset of an individual at all times, but in times of stress, high stress, hello, somebody, and things going wrong, and sometimes even when things go right, you'll get the default mechanism of how they feel based off of how they think, their mindset. And some mindsets are very strong. People can't get around them. They can't get through them. They can't get over them. So if you wonder why the person can't change, you wonder why the person can't hear what you're saying, because they have a mindset already embedded in them. Ooh, yeah. And you see it. It's consistent. It's consistent. Individual's mindset is consistent. Uh, that's not a bad thing. It's just something that you have to be aware of. And like I've said in shows previous, it's something that you have to give yourself pause for. You have to take 2 minutes to 5 minutes and really wait, think your way through to realizing that it's other things at work, it's other things happening, and let's get through the moment and then come back to the conversation when we're no longer dealing with the default of a person's mindset, and we can speak to them, and not to change their mind, but to get them to see all sides of the equation. Come on, somebody. Usually that can't happen because a person is stuck in a mindset that, is their right, that they're not going to do it. They're not into it. None of that. Hello, somebody. And so that's why I said let's talk about mindset tonight, because I believe it's important that people in relationships and people in marriages have to be cognizant of that. You have to have some type of ideology within yourself to know that it's more to a person just the fact of you marrying them or you being with them, you making love to them, you buying them a rose, you buying them a diamond chain, you buying them a fur, all these things matter. And Tanel, what's up, big brother? Good to see you, man. Blessings, blessings. I always like to shout out my people that are definitely my people for many, many years. Family, pretty much. I want us to keep an understanding about that. Keep a clarity within ourselves that you a lot of why you have to pause in making decisions or even receiving something that just happened to you, right? is because instantly it's trauma to your body. So instantly everything goes haywire. And you have to have enough common sense within yourself to know, let me pause, let me think, let me step back, let me come back to this. A lot of us as people, human beings, believe that it's okay to act in a moment because something happened to me, and nah, this is what's going on. This is what's going to happen. This is how I'm going to react. Mm-mm. It's okay to catch whatever it is that you're catching, but be slow to response. Be slow to response. Because if you become slow to response, you can then take away a lot of the stuff that you're going to have to take back later or regret later. Come on, somebody. These are all important situations. These are all real time realities for us that we are constantly moving. Microwave ovens, sociological impact in our world. Everything is just whatever. AI is moving. People are just not getting together the way they used to, and they're wanting what people built over 40 and 50 years, but don't want to put the time in, don't want to put in the work. With the work comes anybody who's ever had a job or worked at something know that you have good days and you have bad days. Hello, somebody. And so when you think about a relationship and a marriage, you're going to have good and bad days. Come on, somebody. And if who you're with is not available for that part of the understanding, yeah, there's probably some things that some people go through without question that people feel like, well, that's not a workable situation. And that's good to be in a space where you identify that for yourself because you know what you're good for. And then there's spaces where people can work things through. But on either side of that coin, you have to be available, and you have to be cognizant that that's reality. It might work, it might not work. But I know it'll work better for me and for the other individual too. Don't have to be selfish about it. If we pause, come back to this conversation, because maybe everything that happened in such a way that there wasn't no time to pause or no time to think or no time to be on point the way you should have been. And that is your fault. That is your situation, whatever the case may have been. But you still have to, at some point, regather, reassess, put yourself back together, and then come back to work. Hello, somebody. Whether the work is a situation where there's a pink slip coming because you can't do it no more, that's cool. But be adults, be able bodied people in your mind. That's why I said it's mindset. When I speak to young ladies often in the street with their man, and I ask them because they have a baby, and I go, wow, you're married, whatever. And they go, no. And I go, okay, y'all working towards it, wishing them good things in their lives. And then there's times when I'm speaking with young ladies or young men, and I ask about the person that they're with and that they're sexual and they're doing this and doing that. And I go, well, are y'all going to get married? And they look at me and go, we ain't doing that. And I go, okay. But you laying down with this person, making love, giving them all of you, the most sacred part of a woman and a man, not just a woman. Y'all need to stop that. The most sacred part of a woman and a man is their lifespan that they give away, glory be to God, in sexual intercourse, in sharing themselves with another human being. A lot of us don't know that, don't figure that out till it's too late in life. So every time that I see a young woman, young man, little family, whatever, I always encourage that they realize a marriage can be disavowed at any point. You can get a divorce, you can go about your business, whatever the case. When you let somebody have intercourse with you to where babies is popping up, or y'all are just doing it and ain't nobody covering up, you could lose your life. you could lose your life. Hello, somebody. And that person, the other person, gonna go on and keep doing what they're doing. You could lose your life. How do you think that being married or committing to a relationship is so much more a bad situation or worse than you laying down, giving of yourself, and having a baby? That baby has to be taken care of until it can take care of itself. And then we all know as parents, it goes on far beyond that because whenever they cry, you're going to show up. But the fact that you did this and once, twice, two, three times, and thought that marriage was the bad thing about it, when in actuality, you giving yourself away for nothing was the bad part. Hello, somebody. I'm just telling the truth. We live and we learn if we bless. It's the truth. You giving yourself away and your life can change and you're bringing life into the world. And at no point do you want to say to this next individual, well, let's be together. Let's work out our differences. Let's grow together and let's cement that with the creator of all things. Not with people, but with the creator. Because you're at that point, you're thanking him for the person that you love. Come on, somebody, just telling the truth. You're thanking him for blessing you with the person that you love. But instead, people rather just go on and have the hot sex. I ain't mad. I've been there. Hello, somebody. I'm just blessed to be here today, but I've been there. But I always encourage that for our children, for the younger generations, because they need to know and hear it the right way. We came out of, people my age and older and a little bit younger, came out of the generations of hearing people talk about courting the other person and marriage before sex. And we've heard it. We know we didn't see it all the time, but we heard it. We probably were the last ones to really hear that. Now people feel like, if I can't test the package, I don't want to buy the package and things of that nature. And I understand the mindset. Again, we're back to mindset. It's going left and right and it's wiggly and wobbly. But I encourage us to do more thinking moving through this era where we're letting AI think for us. We're letting the crowd think for us. We're letting other people think for us. Learn to think for yourself. Control, develop, sustain, and maintain your mindset. And I pray that the mindset be of a positive influence. You could have had negative inputs, which would give you a negative outcome in your mindset quite naturally. But I'm hoping and praying for you that that's not the case. I'm hoping and praying that you can get past that. And that's reality. So when we're talking about red flags, right? Thinking about red flags, uh, what people have done and what we've allowed people to do, that's based on mindset as well. On one point, you can look at red flags and say, oh, wow, caught that. I seen that back then, but I kept it moving. Or I seen that and I paused because I don't know if I want to deal with you now that I done saw that. Male or female, wife or husband, hello, somebody. So, in one regard, a person may see an individual, right, do something and, wave it on. Things happen. You're going to keep moving. And you may see a person do something else at a later time. And you go, okay, we're growing, we're living, keep it moving. Now, at this point where you're seeing different things, it's a good thing if you can get into a conversation about what you're seeing, right? A lot of times we don't. Hello, somebody. We don't. Just be honest, just be truthful. We're lazy and we don't do it. Um, so I say at these times when you're seeing these things happening is the perfect time to have these conversations. So if you don't, you put yourself in a space where the evidence for you walking away or staying with a person hasn't had a real sense of recording. Because if we talk about it, like there's a recording going on. There's a conversational recording that we spoke about what I seen, what you did, or what I did, what you seen, and we can work through it. We can see what's happening, what's not happening, put us on a better plane. If we don't talk about it, at that point, the person doing the thing that you don't like or that becomes a problem later is not as bad as you say it is because you never said nothing. Not to mention, you allowed it. Hello, somebody, because can't nobody stop you from talking. And if somebody's putting their hands on you while you're talking, you need to go about your business. Someone's using foul language that's not necessary while you're talking. Leave them talking to themselves. Let's see if the wall answer. Hello, somebody. But it's a space in situations when things is happening within a relationship and in a marriage where you can speak to the situation with the other person. I think a lot of times we as people are not taking advantage of that and then circling back later and saying things like, yeah, I saw it. All right, well, you didn't stay sucker free. You saw it, you kept moving. You saw it, you didn't say nothing. Because if you get to that point, right, and you can say, okay, I saw it, I spoke about it, nothing changed. I hope for the change. It didn't occur. You can feel great about whatever decision you're going to make next because you tried. Trying in real time for situations that matter to life that change the price of tea in China, as I say, are doing situations. It's not, let me get to it. No, it's you doing it. It's a doing situation. It's action, it's movement, it's conversation, it's whatever it takes. People are not doing whatever it takes in real time with scenarios with their loved one, with their significant other, with their husband or wife, and then they're mad later. What you mad about? E. True story. What you mad about? What are you mad about? What has got you into the bunches? What's got you so bunched up? You allowed it. You didn't speak about it. You didn't do the conversational recording of it that you and the other person could sit back and go, yeah, but we spoke about this, X, Y, and Z, and this is what we came up with. So where did we deviate at? Because a lot of times, we look at people and we can talk about the mindset of other people in different instances, but we won't talk about it in the instance of the person that we're with or the person that we love. So a person's mindset could be to just point the finger at people. Oh, you did it. Oh, they did it. Oh, but she did this. Oh, but he did that. Oh, they did it. Never once taking 2 minutes to pause before somebody with common sense comes before them and says, but in the instance of them doing that, what did you do leading up to that? What did you do during that? And what did you do after? Because that's the reality. What did you do leading up to it that probably could have caused it or allow it to happen? What did you do during it? And what did you do afterwards? Then you have the people who, with the mindset that they'll talk about anything and everything and everybody. And they might be in a position where they need to hear some information that would help them. And then they will kind of know what the problem is. You only present to them the evidence that they gave you when speaking about it to you. You present it back to them so they can see it. And then they become people who get into defense of the situation and the problem that the other person that they're talking to you about presented to them. Yeah, how about that? I know that's real. That happens all day, every day. You go to help somebody in a situation. They're talking to you about a person. You say, well, all right, the person did this, that's that. Well, what did you do? Da, da, da. Well, that wasn't right for the person to do that. And then they look at you and start defending the person that you're telling them, yeah, that wasn't right about that. They're crying to you about. Hello, somebody. Seen it 1,000 times. And that's a mindset, believe it or not, based on the fact that they love the person, they love the individual, they love the situation. Yeah, sometimes people are not even in love with the people, they're in love with the situation. But you'll never know that until you take a couple of moments and get into the mindset of an individual to know what type of individual you're dealing with to put yourself in a better space. Because if you get to understanding the mindset of an individual, you can better put yourself in placement to be with them and have less hiccups. You're going to have hiccups, but you'll have less hiccups. And at that point, you're controlling the narrative because you understand the ways of a person. See, I'm saying mindset, but we've been taught, over the time that we've been here, that it's the ways of a person. Traditionally, they call it, oh, that person got these type of ways. You know the ways of your father. Oh, you know the ways of your mother. Oh, you know the ways of your husband. Oh, you know the ways of your wife. Oh, you know the ways of your child, such and such. But its actuality is that it's a mindset. The ways are a secondary response to the mindset being what it is in that individual. People don't like to have these type of conversations and long conversations because it makes them reflect on who they are and what they are or are not putting into the life that they're living. Yeah, we hide from working on the things that matter and then find out later on after so much that we are hurting because we never really worked on the things that matter. It's a reality check. Most people will not do what they need to do. They'll do what they want to do. Though we know in clarity that what you need outweighs what you want. But as a human error, we will go for the things that we want and push the stuff to the side that we need. And then look up later and wonder why we're short. Hello, somebody. Look up and wonder why we're short. Wonder why we're alone. Wonder why we don't have. Wonder why it's not fun. Wonder why happiness is on the other side somewhere. So far away somewhere that you don't even know what it looked like no more. Hello, somebody. And so my thing is to get us to consider mindset, how we look at things, how we deal with things, how we process things. I love to think that everything will be all right with everyone. That's my prayer always. But I have to say, based on seeing people, looking at myself as an individual, and realizing that we are our own worst enemies. We are our own worst enemies. We are. There's nobody hurting us. We're hurting ourselves. 85% of the time when somebody's going through something right now, we really did it to ourselves. The other person didn't do it to you. You did it to yourself because we didn't pay attention. And so I'm engaging with the audience to consistently, repeatedly help people get into a space where they realize things happen. How you view it, how you process it is major. In tonight's show, let's consider mindset. Let's consider the things that we think about, how we think about them, why we're thinking about them. Come on, somebody. This all matters because when you're dealing with people, other living, breathing organisms, you have to keep in mind that they are singular. No one's plural. And in that singular form, you don't know what it took on before it met you. You don't know what it took on while it was with you. And so having time to pause in your mind before you react to what an individual does or says through or after a traumatic situation, remembering that the default mechanism comes out 90% of the time after a person has gone through a traumatic situation emotionally, mentally, and physically. It's fight or flight, right? And so the body's fighting to stay alive, the emotions fighting to stay alive, the mind is fighting to think, the heart's fighting to love. That is instantaneous. Pause, give everything time to settle down, settle in, and then come back to it so that you can give life a chance for real. Because the truth is, things will happen, things do happen. And if we give ourselves time to think it through, work it through, walk it through, we can come out with a better ending. We can come out not just talking to anybody and everybody. Find somebody who actually has some type of common sense and you've seen the common sense. Or better yet, just talk to a straight stranger from the other side of the world somewhere or 3 states away and just ask them what they think. Because if a person don't know you, don't know your situation, and you just presented them a situation, they'll pretty much tell you what they see, not making it right or wrong. But you need another set of ears so that you don't go off on your own or on somebody who just knows you, likes you, or knows him or knows her and likes them. And then you're dealing with that. It's a non-biased way of getting true information of how someone sees something that you're dealing with. You need it. It helps the mindset so that when you're thinking, calculating, moving, you can have it where you can draw from different things. You can draw from different experiences. You can draw from different conclusions. The ones that you want and the ones that you don't want, obviously. I'm grateful to be able to take the time and speak to my audience because I know it helps, right? Uh, Different people call me at different times and let me know. They go, "Yo, Bishop, yo, Wood, that was a good one." And so I'll always come and just spread a little love. I don't mind because it's real. The more and more we don't talk to each other about the things that matter, the more and more we'll find ourselves in a singular spot, in a singular situation. And more we'll be pointing the fingers. And more we'll talk about the red flags and beat ourselves up because we didn't pay attention or beat the other person up for doing it. When in actuality, we just need to think. Take your time, 2 to 5 minutes, breathe, reassess, recommit, refocus. Come on, somebody. And so that's my thought process for the night for everyone. Think about the mindset. You'll be blessed for it. I pray everyone have a blessed night. This is Red Flags. It's your boy, the Prophet B. Kush. I'm grateful to be here. Do what you do. Don't let it do you, you know. Um, May God, the Creator, continue to do all the great work that He's doing in everybody. And nothing is as bad as it seems if you're still breathing. Come on, somebody. All right. God bless you. I love you. I thank you for tuning in. It's my pleasure.